Hello everybody, welcome to Voices of Friedreich's Ataxia. Our goal is to raise awareness and funds to cure Friedreich's Ataxia, FA. Today we will talk about Wishful Thinking by Kendall Harvey. Every time we get a couple of weeks into a new season of life, like back to school, summer break, or baseball season, I find myself settling into a funk as we settle into a routine. This usually happens when I realize that my current stage of FA progression isn't temporary like the seasons are. Friedreich's ataxia is here to stay. I get so wrapped up in my frustrated little pity party about what is required to safely accommodate my growing lack of abilities that my disabilities seem too big and bad to enjoy any good. I know. I'm being that disabled girl complaining about being disabled, again, but man, what I wouldn't give to not be disabled. Even if it was just for the summer. But I will keep doing what I always do, which is just to do my best and let God take care of the rest. Kendall Harvey is also an FA patient, and this information was taken from Team Kendall with their permission. The link is provided in description. Hello everybody, welcome to Voices of Friedreich's Ataxia. Our goal is to raise awareness and funds to cure Friedreich's Ataxia, FA. Today we will talk about The Delicate Art of Fielding Questions About My Walker by Kendall Harvey. I'm frequently asked, "What happened to you?" The person asking usually points at my walker. What they're really asking is, "Why are you using a walker?" People don't tend to think of an obvious explanation as to why a healthy-looking, 34-year-old woman is using a walker, so they just ask instead of standing there wondering about it. I know their intentions usually stem from genuine curiosity and are not malicious, but the question always catches me off guard. How much detail should I go into? How do I explain my complex and rare disability in a polite and conversational answer? I usually respond with something like, "I'm okay. No injuries. I have a disability, and I need this walker to get around." Cue the shock and shame. Most people immediately apologize for prying into my health situation, to which I respond, "Don't worry about it. I'm glad you asked." I answer like that to leave the conversation open, should they want to ask more questions. But I also politely wrap it up in case they need a moment to recover from the exchange. While I can't speak to how others react after all of this, I'll replay the exchange over and over in my mind for days. I'll dissect their tone, facial expressions, and word choices. What were they seeking in that moment, I'll wonder. Did I satisfy their curiosity? What do they feel when they walk away? Pity, shame, enlightenment, curiosity? What were my tone, facial expressions, and word choices like? Because there will undoubtedly be a next time, I try to think about how to handle such an exchange better. How can I answer more graciously? Should I edit my standard response to something like, "I have a progressive neurological disorder that has rendered me disabled, so I need this walker to get around"? I am unsure because of my usual audience. As a result of my current phase in life, there are usually children present during these exchanges, whether they're my children or those of the person I'm talking to. And contrary to popular belief, children hear everything, especially the things you don't want them to hear. I know that my 7-year-old son, Brooks, and 5-year-old daughter, Collins, are familiar with the words progressive, neurological, and disabled, but they don't yet know Friedreich's ataxia. Sharing the specifics of why their mom is disabled is something very personal, and I want to make sure it's done thoughtfully, appropriately, and at a specific time. I want them to reach a maturity level at which they can receive and digest this information, and then we can talk about their thoughts, fears, and concerns. I want to allow them time to ask questions and feel whatever they feel about the answers I provide. I am careful about arbitrarily saying Friedreich's ataxia in their presence, because that private and intentional moment isn't while I'm dropping them off at school or cheering on my son at a baseball game. This personal choice might not be fair to an inquisitive stranger, but frankly, protecting my children from fears about my future is a higher priority for me. I'm happy to dive into all of the details about Friedreich's ataxia when the timing is right. All of this to say, please be a courteous stranger. It's completely natural to be curious about a woman and her walker. But satisfy your curiosity in an appropriate manner. Be mindful of those around you who might hear the conversation. Be aware of your tone and facial expressions. Be intentional with your choice of words. And, above all, be kind. Kendall Harvey is also an FA patient, and this information was taken from Team Kendall with their permission. The link is provided in description. Hello everybody, welcome to Voices of Friedreich's Ataxia. Our goal is to raise awareness and funds to cure Friedreich's ataxia, FA. Today we will talk about How I Take Heart on My FA Journey by Kendall Harvey. Life with Friedreich's ataxia, FA, can feel daunting as we face hardships, struggles, and countless tribulations. Most FA patients I know have a positive attitude and try to keep moving forward despite what FA throws in our paths. We don't necessarily like our diagnosis, nor do we like having to fight, persevere, and overcome every moment, but we choose to do so for the sake of our sanity and quality of life. If you've followed my journey, you know I believe in the power of perspective and choice. As my mentor, Julie Richard, says, any feeling is okay to feel. It's what we choose to do with that feeling that matters. FA brings mostly negative feelings into my life: frustration, disappointment, sadness, loneliness, and fear. I have to constantly process and choose a way to rise above these feelings if I hope to find any joy, happiness, fulfillment, or contentment. The parts of my journey that I choose to share publicly, through social media, group texts, or in person at Bible study or lunch dates, are generally when I'm at the choice part of my latest obstacle. I'll notice a new problem that FA has introduced into my life and study how it makes me feel. I will think about my options realistically. First, is there a solution to this problem? Can a doctor help me resolve this issue? Second, is there something that somebody has invented to help cope with this problem, like grab rails or a different mobility aid? Would it improve my quality of life by saving my small reserve of energy or making tasks safer? And lastly, how can I move forward from this so that it isn't the straw that broke the camel's back? What choices can I make to keep my life moving forward in a positive direction? When I share updates, I provide a high-level summary of my latest personal trial, how it made me feel, and what I resolved to do going forward. I usually incorporate a little detail about my adapted perspective and my faith. My updates are generally positive and usually generate a lot of "you're so inspiring" responses. Yet now and then, I will share an update before I've come to a peaceful resolution, resulting in a vulnerable and bleak synopsis of my problems. Without fail, a relative stranger will comment about how I can't give up, how I just need to keep my chin up and stop sweating the small stuff. These comments discourage me. I just want to reply, you obviously haven't been following my journey because I choose a positive mindset 99% of the time. I think I've earned the right to periodically share the hard moments surrounding my journey with this disease, even if my pull yourself up by your bootstraps moment is just around the corner. But I don't. Social media debates just aren't my style. I choose to keep searching for the best perspective and path forward. I remind myself that the stakes are too high and I've come too far, overcome too much, to let FA defeat me now. I focus on the loving support from my village, and I keep moving forward. FA is an endless source of tribulations and sorrows. But I don't have to face them alone. I can take heart because I know that God is with me, as are the people He put in my life. I can be courageous because I have already overcome so much, and I'm empowered by the one who overcame death. Kendall Harvey is also an FA patient, and this information was taken from Team Kendall with their permission. The link is provided in description. Hello everybody, welcome to Voices of Friedreich's Ataxia. Our goal is to raise awareness and funds to cure Friedreich's Ataxia, FA. Today we will talk about An Open Letter to My Friends by Kendall Harvey. I often write about how important it is to have a strong village supporting you in life, not only for big things like parenting and disabilities caused by Friedreich's Ataxia, FA, but for all the ups and downs. I'm incredibly blessed to have several villages, including my childhood friends, neighborhood friends, church friends, and friends I have made through my children's schools and sports. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that my friend villages have saved me countless times. They physically help me get through the day safely by holding my arm, getting my mobility aids in and out of my car, or carrying things for me. My friends express genuine interest and concern about my mental health, thoughts, and feelings. They ask how I am doing, FA-wise, and how I am feeling about that. They join my pity parties, cheer me up, and cheer me on. When I try to put myself in my friends' shoes, I have some realizations. Since FA is so rare, all-encompassing, progressive, and debilitating, keeping tabs on me is a laborious task, but one that so many wonderful people take on brilliantly. I am more appreciative than I could ever articulate, but I wanted to try. Therefore, I have a few things I'd like to share with my friends in an open letter. Dear friend, I love you. I appreciate you. You are an amazing person, and I love being your friend. I know that FA is extremely difficult to relate to unless you have endured the disease yourself. Unfortunately, FA is a huge part of my life, so it makes up a large percentage of my daily drama. I know that it can be overwhelming when I dump my huge problems on your conscience. Please know that I share with you because I value our friendship and strive to be transparent and truthful with you. Secondly, I'm not laying my problems at your feet with the expectation that you'll fix them. I'm usually just trying to share a glimpse into my reality to deepen our friendship and grow closer. Empathy, prayers, words of encouragement, or just big hugs are all wonderfully appreciated responses. Just as I'm rolling with the punches and figuring out how to live as a progressively disabled woman, you're learning how to be friends with a progressively disabled woman. There are no stupid questions, and there's never a wrong thing to say, because I know your heart and understand where you're coming from. We're all figuring it out together, and having you by my side makes this disability journey less lonely, daunting, and scary. I want to be there for you the way you are there for me. Don't ever think, I can't complain to Kendall about this. Look at all she's going through. My problem seems so small and silly in comparison. It isn't. Your feelings and life experiences are just as valid as anyone's, and I want to know anything you want to share. FA has taken away so much from me, I'd hate to let it take away a chance to deepen a friendship, too. Thank you for seeing past FA and just seeing your friend Kendall. Thank you for providing a sense of normalcy in my abnormal life. Thank you for finding a way to shake me out of my funks and focus on all of the wonderfully complex things in my life apart from my genetics. Thank you for making me laugh. Thank you for crying with me. Thank you for the reminders that no matter how terrible today may be, tomorrow is a new day. Know that whenever someone tells me that I'm inspiring, I immediately think of my village. I think of my friends who hold me up when I'm crumbling in defeat. I think of the kind, encouraging words of support you poured into my life to get me to where I am now. Thank you for sticking by me through the good times and the bad. I know that FA has a lot of bad in store for me, but I also know that my amazing friends will get me through it. Gratefully yours, Kendall. Kendall Harvey is also an FA patient, and this information was taken from Team Kendall with their permission. The link is provided in description. Hello everybody, welcome to Voices of Friedreich's Ataxia. Our goal is to raise awareness and funds to cure Friedreich's Ataxia, FA. Today we will talk about FA Forces Me to Process and Cope with Fear, by Kendall Harvey. When you live under the banner of a degenerative disease such as Friedreich's Ataxia, FA, you become well acquainted with fear. You fear what your body has in store for you tomorrow, next month, next year, and the years after that. You fear falling or accidentally doing something that speeds up your symptom progression. You fear that you are not doing enough to fight for your future. You fear that you are fueled by fear rather than positive feelings like hope, joy, determination, or happiness. Or at least that's true for me. There are many ways to handle being afraid. Most of us have heard of the fight or flight response, where you either face your fears head-on or flee in self-preservation. After nearly 9 years of living with FA, I've noticed that I take both approaches, sometimes on the same day, and sometimes in response to the same problem. Sometimes, I confidently face my FA-related fears as soon as I notice them. Other times, I put it off until living under the relentless threat of FA has, in some ways, affected my ability to perceive the reality of what I'm facing. I often feel like I'm being overly dramatic, cautious, and sensitive, as though FA is waiting for any opportunity to pop up and ruin everything. Other times, I get so used to living with fear as a constant companion that I fail to notice when I'm afraid of something unrelated to FA. I'm the first to admit that I have a lot of work to do in terms of processing and facing my fears. And I know that new ones are always lingering on the horizon, each requiring a unique approach. There is no one-size-fits-all solution for eradicating fear from your life. All you can do is try to find the best path forward and keep adapting. There are many sayings, philosophies, and parables about handling fear. Some will motivate you, while others may fill you with regret. Because I think it's virtually impossible to go through life with FA fearlessly, I'm frequently comforted by this Morgan Harper Nichols quote, "Doing it afraid is just as brave." Regardless of which side of the fight or flight spectrum I fall on, I'm certain that I'll continue to face both old and new FA-related fears. All I can do is keep trying to find ways to tackle them, cope with them, or move them aside, whether I feel brave or afraid. I'll continue to strive to be fearless, but in the meantime, I'll be satisfied with acting fearless, because that is just as brave. Kendall Harvey is also an FA patient, and this information was taken from Team Kendall with their permission. The link is provided in description. Hello everybody, welcome to Voices of Friedreich's Ataxia. Our goal is to raise awareness and funds to cure Friedreich's Ataxia, FA. Today we will talk about what is the opposite of my life with FA? By Kendall Harvey. When you're a parent of preschool-age children, there's a large focus on teaching the concept of opposites. Big and small, nice and mean, wet and dry, strong and weak, happy and sad, and so on. The illustrations usually make young children giggle, but the idea also teaches them to make valuable observations about the world, which can help them start to develop a perspective through which to filter information. Lately, my daughter, Collins, who graduated from preschool in May, has been vocally curious about my health situation with Friedreich's ataxia, FA. She makes a comment every day about my legs, whether she's asking if they hurt sometimes or wishing they worked so that I didn't need my walker and could still run and play. I know her comments come from a place of loving concern, but they still make me think about her perception of my struggle. I think that, as she sees more of the world, she's noticing that I'm different from most moms, and she's curious about it. Why does her mom have to use a walker? Why can't her mom carry her? Why can't her mom run? Why does her mom have to fly to Atlanta for doctor's appointments? My children know the basics of my battle with FA, and we are slowly, gingerly, and intentionally revealing age-appropriate information regarding the specifics. But in the simplest preschool world of opposites, I think my daughter sees normal moms, and then she sees me. This got me wondering, is normal the opposite of FA? And if not, what is? Healthy? Able-bodied? Is it possible to break it down in stark, black and white terms? When I become extremely frustrated about the endless struggles of life with FA, I often find myself crying out, "Ugh, I wish I didn't have FA. I just want to be normal." So I guess that if I had to choose the opposite of my experience, it would be normal. But the opposite of normal is abnormal, and I'm not satisfied with that. Life with FA is so much more than the oversimplification of abnormal. Life with FA is complicated, hard, scary, painful, challenging, ever-changing, and humbling. The challenges FA patients face get bigger and more numerous every day. There's no doubt about it, FA is a difficult hand to be dealt. That's not to say that every aspect of a patient's life is negative. I still have an abundance of joy, growth, opportunities, fulfillment, possibilities, love, and hope. Since I don't think life with FA can be captured in one word, I don't think the opposite can be, either. My life may not be normal, but as the saying goes, normal is just a setting on a washing machine. I don't have to exist in a world of polar opposites, labeling my life as abnormal and the lives of everyone who can function without a mobility aid as normal. Who am I to determine how others view their existence? There is so much good in my life that far outweighs the bad of FA, so all I can do is continually strive to find peace and fulfillment in the gray area between abnormal and normal, disabled and able-bodied, diseased and healthy. Kendall Harvey is also an FA patient, and this information was taken from Team Kendall with their permission. The link is provided in description.